Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that everyone is doing well. Today, we're going to go ahead and work at part two of our function transformation, which is reflections. So, we're basically looking at symmetry, where we're either going to take a function and we're going to fold it in half this way, or we're going to take a function, we're going to fold it in half this way. So once again, there's the 5 parent functions, which are the same as yesterday. So you don't need to recopy these in your notes because you do have them in yesterday's notes. But once again, we have the linear, which is y equals x. And of course, that's a line going right through the origin with a positive slope. We have our quadrilateral, y equals x squared, which is once again a parabola with the vertex on the origin. We have our cubic function also going through the origin. And we have our absolute value, which is a v at the origin. And our square root function, which is the square root of x, which of course starts at the origin as well. So notice all of our parent functions don't have anything in front of the variable, and they don't have a plus or minus at the end. And that's why they all start and end at the origin. So we're going to go ahead and learn how to reflect over the x-axis. Remember, the x-axis is your flat one, and we're going to go ahead and take our picture and we're going to flip it on the x-axis. So this is like taking a bow after an awesome performance on this stage. Now, what this looks like is we have a negative in front of the function. So a negative in front of the function. So for our line, y equals negative x. For our parabola, once again, we're taking it and we're flipping it over the x-axis. It's y equals negative x squared. For our cubic, we have y equals negative x to the third. And for our absolute value, we have y equals negative absolute value of x. So once again, we're taking it and we are flipping it over the x-axis, kind of like painting the original function and then folding a piece of paper in half this way and seeing where it ends up. And our last one, of course, is y equals negative the square root of x, where the negative is outside. Now, our other type of reflection is basically folding it half the other direction. Before we get to that, our magic word today is Artemis Fowl. I just finished reading this book last evening, and it's a throwback from many years ago, and it's super great. So if you're looking for an interesting read, I recommend Artemis Fowl, and it's about to come out on Disney Plus in May. So our last one is reflecting over the y-axis. Remember, your y-axis is your axis that is this way. So if we have a function, we're going to be flipping it over the other side. So once again, think of it as painting your function and then folding it in half this way. So here we have y equals x, and we're going to fold it in half. And that's going to have your negative inside the function. So your negative isn't outside of the f, it's inside the set of parentheses. Now, funny enough, the line looks exactly the same. Whether we folded it over the x or the y-axis, we ended up with that same. So don't be afraid, lines do that. They did that with our changes with plus or minus as well. For our quadrilateral, it stays exactly the same because once again, we're folding it in half. So that's y equals. Now notice that our negative's inside our set of parentheses. So keep that in mind. When it was on the outside, we did our x squared first and then multiplied it by the negative. But when we square anything, even if it's negative, then it's going to stay the same. Our cubic looks like this when we flip it over. And once again, that negative is inside the set of parentheses. And our y equals the absolute value of x stays the same. Once again, it's inside of your set of parentheses. And when you have the absolute value of anything, it stays the same value. It's a distance from 0 on a number line. Our last one is the only one that looks different than our last type of reflection, once again, because we're crossing over. Now that negative is on the inside, so we're going to be dealing with those negative numbers. And they're only going to be those positive numbers that will become negative, which is why there's going to be nothing in the positive, because those would be not solvable. Because if I had the square root of 4, I can't have the square root of negative 4 on a graph. So negative 4 is going to go ahead and show that it's on the other side in that quadrant 2. So ladies and gentlemen, remember, if it's outside before the F, you're flipping it over the x-axis. You're going up to down. If it's inside your set of parentheses, you're flipping it like a butterfly. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you're having a great day. And I have something cool on our card sorts now. The screen after your card sort, you're able to click on it and it's going to tell you how many you get correct, but you only get 3 chances. So I hope you enjoy that in Desmos today. Have a great one, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, I hope to see you soon. I hope you're doing well, staying safe and healthy. You are missed.